All right, guys, so it's time to start our server, make a file, and write our first PHP. So before we do that, I want to check a few things out here in our MAMP, or if you're using XAMPP, but you'll have, again, pretty similar. You want to make sure our web server is on Apache. That's what we're going to be using. PHP version, I just keep it on the latest version. And then I want to go to my preferences, and I want to go to ports. And you can see here we're on Apache, and our Apache port is 8888. So that means that we're going to be going to that port to actually load the pages that are being the PHP pages that are being generated from our little local server here on MAMP. So we can't just open up Visual Studio Code, guys, and click go live to do our live server. Remember, we're doing it through MAMP now because we need to have a PHP interpreter. And your web browser is not going to be able to do that, so we have to use MAMP, okay? So don't try to make a PHP file and click go live like we've been doing in all of the other courses. It's not going to work, okay? So I just want to point that out to the ports thing where we're going to be going to open up our files. Another thing I want to point out, if we click on server, it says document root here, and what that means is this is how you basically open up your PHP files that you want to view on the screen while you're building like an application. So it's in the applications folder, then MAMP, which we're in, and then in the htdocs folder is where all of our files that we want to see on the screen should be kept. So we can actually see that here. If I go back, I click into MAMP, and then we're in this file here. If we click on this is what brings us our little our main server area to start the server, right? But then you'll also see up here the htdocs. So this is where all of our documents are going to go. So what I want to do is I want to right click and click new folder on my desktop, and I'll just name this folder php-intro. And then I will drag this into my htdocs folder. Okay, so now PHP intro is in here. And then what I want to do is I want to start my my little Apache server. So we're going to click start. And nothing's going to happen now, but what we'll do is we'll open up our Visual Studio Code. So let's make sure that I'm in the right folder. So I'm just going to open the whole htdocs folder into my Visual Studio Code. So here it is. Here's htdocs, here's PHP intro, the file that we just made. Now we're going to create a file. So just like we've been doing, but it's going to be a .php file. So let's say I'll make this file name 1-intro-php. We'll say 1-intro, and then we'll make it .php. It'll be easier to read. And now you can even see Visual Studio Code is picking up that this is a PHP file. I've got the little PHP logo here. I'll hit enter. And the cool thing about PHP, guys, is you're essentially just making an HTML document like we've been doing, and then putting PHP code in PHP tags. Kind of like we put JavaScript in script tags. So everything should be really similar. We can do the same shortcut to make our boilerplate code and it's just going to be HTML, right? And then we can say in the title, we'll just say my first PHP, okay? And then we can even make an H1 in here. Just say PHP is awesome. And let's actually launch the document here. So to do that, remember, we already started our server. So our server's running, we're in htdocs in our folder called PHP intro. So we have to be in the htdocs folder. Let's go ahead and I'm going to open a new window for Google Chrome. And now remember, our port is that 8888. And how you access that is you go to your web browser and just type in localhost, all one word, and then a colon, and then 8888 to get the port. And it's automatically going to take us to our index, which is our htdocs folder. So now we're in the htdocs folder. We're actually in it, but in our browser now. Okay. Here's our PHP intro folder, and there's our 1-intro.php right here. So click on that, and there we go. There's our PHP. This page is running on a local server that can interpret PHP now. So again, we can't just click go live here. If we try that, look, it has no idea what to do. This is a PHP file. It's not going to show you anything. Can't do that anymore. That's done for now, okay? So we're in our PHP file, and now let's write our PHP. So I've already told you, PHP was made for the web, so it integrates right into HTML pages or with HTML, no problem. You can put HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and PHP all on the same page if you wanted to. So we have H and H1. Now let's actually make some PHP. So to do that, you just make an opening and closing PHP tags. So what they look like is this. It's a less than sign, a question mark, and then you type PHP, and then your closing tag is going to be just a question mark and a greater than sign. Now everything in between here, this opening and closing PHP tag is now going to be PHP. Even though we're in HTML, it just integrates seamlessly. So when you try to learn Node.js or Python or any other language, Java, you have to jump through like 10 hoops to get to actually run it on the server. It's more complicated. With PHP, since it was made for the web, it just integrates seamlessly. We don't have to do anything other than, get our server running. That's it. Now I'll show you a little like built-in PHP method called echo. So if we write echo space and then just kind of like a string in JavaScript, we're going to make a string. And we can say this is my first PHP and save. And now it's not going to update automatically because we have to refresh the page, because remember, we're not on a live server now. We're on our local host running through MAMP. So if we have to refresh the page to see our changes. So let's refresh. There it is. Look, this is my first PHP. Pretty cool, huh? So that's basically how you can render out strings in PHP. You can use this echo little method here. And again, everything is a carryover from JavaScript. PHP has built-in methods, functions. There's going to be loops, arrays, variables. Everything is going to be the same, just written in a little bit different syntax, okay? So that's all I wanted to do for this video here, guys. It's getting kind of long. In the next video, we'll continue writing some more PHP.